today we had a really interesting roundtable in partnership with Fireman on how do you remain in charge while automating processes. Andrew, what stood out from today's discussion?
I think what's very clear is that a lot of customers are getting increasingly faced with a series of challenges hitting the operational teams to deliver agile business practices, to be able to help the CEO achieve their goals of the board and make business happen at a much faster rate. Now, for a security team with ever decreasing resources, that becomes a real challenge. So the need to be able to have agile systems, interoperability, and a degree of automation to be able to help processes happen much faster, for change to occur in the business at a much quicker rate is the new reality, and it's making a lot of clients and customers realise, well, what's the art of the possible? Where could we go now?
Alexandria, for you, what were the main takeaways?
So it's very clear that actually all organizations are heading down a digital transformation journey, and some of them are more progressed than others. Some of them still have a way to go, and they're just getting to grips with what that means. And for me, we need to recognize that as much as it is an organizational change and a business change in terms of the way we do business, the more we automate, the more we digitalize our footprint as such. It is culture change for the organization and the staff supporting that business-facing part of our organization. It is a process change. It's actually not going to be a replication of existing clunky manual processes in our organization, but rather a transition to something that's simpler, resilient, with sort of enforced security guardrails around it that don't take away from what we need to do as a business on a day-to-day basis. So for me, it's key to recognize that that transition is happening. It's key to recognize that it comes with a number of changes. We've talked about the need for new talent, different type of skill sets. We've talked about the need to bake in security into the new concepts and the new landscape. We've talked about the change of the foundations at the base of the new digital organization from a security standpoint, and not only. So I think we need to recognize all the implications that come with it and appropriately plan, prepare for it, and execute.
The most interesting takeaway was with regard to, you have a policy set for on-prem. You can't just lift and shift your environment. Interestingly, most companies do apparently take the approach of lifting and shifting to cloud. You can't lift and shift your policies. You have to actually do a full translation and then also address and include new policies which would relate specifically to a cloud environment.
I think what I've seen today has really confirmed what I thought, which is that our journey into the cloud and to make use of these current automation options, we're in quite an early stage. It hasn't changed what I think our approach is to how we plan, what we need to do, the foundations that we need, the visibility that we need, etc. And I think, it's about now looking at what we need. We're not going into the cloud just because we're going into the cloud. We need to be doing it for the right reasons. And we need to be sure, of what the approach is and what visibility we need.
And what for you came across as the main sort of problems that we're facing in terms of guardrails and so on?
Well, I think there's several things. It's about how do you actually devise policy that can be implemented uniformly across all the most appropriate areas across the network. Do you have the resources to do that? Do you have enough people? Of course, more often than not, the answer is no. Staff retention and skills retention is a real challenge in our industry right now. So being able to create a situation where processes are more corporate memory based, they're more systematic to the operation of the company, and being less tribal knowledge, sitting in the heads of a few rock star staff members, which possibly may well be short-lived in terms of their tenure at the business, is a real challenge. And it's one that customers are increasingly waking up to.